Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 10 Dead Rats. I am your DM, and this is our group tonight. Hi, everybody. Max, I know, no, I didn't think about what I was going to say before I started talking. Why do you ask?
Yay!
Max is not with us tonight, unfortunately. He's not feeling well, so alas, we will be without Bruno. But we'll make do as best we can.
Bummer.
In fact, maybe the group will be slightly more productive. We'll see.
Maybe.
We're hoping.
Now, last week we were missing Yeffi, and we are very grateful to have Colleen back. So we will begin tonight's episode with Yeffi. And give you guys a little flashback as to what happened to her. But before we get there, I don't know if there are any other announcements. I do want to tell everyone, in case you hadn't heard on other channels, the Wandering DMs this Sunday is going to have special guest Ernie Gygax on. So you should come check that out. 1 p.m. on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Very exciting.
Pretty cool. I'm excited to get to chat with Ernie Gygax. Does anybody else have any other? I think that maybe Ziggy has an announcement to make.
Seems very excited for the Wandering DM stream as well.
He is. He's a big Ernie Gygax fan, from what I've heard. Great. Okay, so unless anybody else has any other announcements to make to our lovely audience, let's dive into tonight's episode of 10 Dead Rats. When last we saw our brave adventurers, they were somewhere. They were speaking with, or going to speak with their fine apothecary friend, Heikdorn. Yeffi had other business to attend to. It had just become evening, and Yeffi was very eager to finally meet the elusive Franz Baumann down at the Crossed Pikes, and so left the group behind to go make that appointment, while the remainder spoke to Heikdorn, were threatened by some stevedores, spent some time at the Physicians Guild, and did a lot of attempting to figure out what the heck is going on and who is out to get them, and what should they do about it, and finally decided that their best bet, rather than fight the greater society of Bogenhafen and unknown mysterious cabals of cultists or what have you, that they should just go down to the sewers and face the demon head on. They went down into the sewers and were quite disappointed to find that the whole area where they had previously seen some kind of altar or temple set up was completely scrubbed clean with no evidence of any demons. They did find one small clue, a monogrammed handkerchief, which they eagerly scooped up and retreated back up out of the sewer with. But before we get to that, let's find out what exactly did happen to Yeffi. So, Colleen, Yeffi was eager to make the appointment at the Cross Pikes, and so heads on over. Any preliminary precautions you want to take, or any other activity before you arrive at the Crossed Pikes?
Well, I got my normal equipment, and she's got, let's see, Yeffi has her normal equipment, and she probably has a few foozles and jewels to kind of hawk off at Franz. Start the conversation.
And you have a few smaller items left over from the party at the Orlok estate, but it's growing thin. Yes. You've managed to sell off a lot of that, so a little, not as much to offer as you previously did have.
I do have my weird dwarven make.
You do.
Thingamabob.
That is true.
Yeah, no, Yeffi will go over kind of twiddling her thumbs and checking her pockets and her cloak, and she kind of, she goes, I can't believe I just kissed Bruno. That was weird. That sounds weird. Hope that doesn't go with his head. He's probably thinking, I wish this stupid fat dwarf was, some small childlike halfling woman, but whatever. Stupid blondes. And then, she'll make her way over the cross pipes.
Excellent.
And
Yeffi heads over to the Cross Pikes. Again, it is down a narrow street, very subtly placed. There is a small sign over it indicating the Cross Pikes Tavern, though it is not a welcoming doorway along the street. But you head over there. You push open the door and you peer in. It's now evening. It's dark outside, and as you peer inside, you see it's not much brighter inside. There are a few candles here and there. There is a low guttering oil lamp at the bar where you had previously met spoken with someone before. But generally, it's pretty dark. A lot of dark, shadowy corners. You think you can see a small group of people sitting at one table off to your right. But what catches your eye is standing behind the bar, polishing cups, in just barely visible in the light of the very low lantern that's set there, appears to be Franz Baumann himself, actually working the bar.
oh man,
He's even got a little apron on, a little stained, spotted apron.
this is his night job. That's a low blow for a crime boss. Man, there's more shadows and dark corners in this place. Wonder how they make everything so poorly lit all the time. All right, get it together, Yeffi. Get it together. She's going to slowly kind of creep into the doorway, look around, and make her way, kind of scuttling up to the bar. She puts both of her elbows up. She's probably pretty tall. She goes, "Hey, Fran. Hey, Yeffi, you remember me from the sewer party?"
Yeffi. Yeah, I remembers yous. Yep. I knew you were coming.
Yeah.
My boys told me that you were here earlier.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if that guy was going to remember or not, if he was just going to get confused, or he didn't seem to be much of a talker.
No,
Or a
well,
listener.
he's got pretty strict orders to keep the riffraff out during the day. I gotta get my beauty sleep sometime, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Can't be
So
working
you-
24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You want a drink?
I love a drink.
Already putting the cups on place. Already, just kind of not really even paying attention to whether there's an answer, and pouring some ale.
Yeah, that's my man Franz. That's great. That's potent smelling stuff. That's gonna.
The two of you take a sip, and he kind of looks you in the eye, and he goes, "Well, you checks out. I heard from our pal Frank. Not Frank. Franz. No, I'm Franz. Jesus,
You're
Paul,
Franz.
get the names right.
It's Frank.
Frank. It is Frank. Yeah. It sounded weird in my accent to call him Frank because he always calls himself that hoity-toity Frank.
Frank from Bronx. From
Yeah.
Bronx. Yeah.
Yeah, we sent word up to your neck of the woods, and it seems you checks out. So, what brings you to Bogenhafen? You doing a job here?
Well, I had a job. It fell through. It was a terrible loss. I'm trying to make up for it. Got kind of, got up in some other weird business, and now lost some more money. Really annoyed by that. So I'm trying to make up for some lost time with some of these wares I got. I also have some really specialty items that I'm trying to, figure out what to do with. And I'm a little concerned about your... For everyone listening, my dog just tried to lick me, and I had to put him down.
Who let that mud in here?
Get away from me! Get to the group! Bruno's gonna miss you. Get out of here! Like I was saying, I'm a little concerned with some of the other dealings in Bogenhafen here because we were trying to find that goblin, we found it. We found it in pieces. And the thing that was responsible for those pieces was some kind of mutated freak demon. And it was down like your next door neighbor in the sewer. So, you know.
Our neighbor.
Yeah, your neighbor in the sewer. Your neighbor in the sewer, like 1-2 tunnels down and another door.
Which direction?
To the left.
The left.
You know,
like towards the river, towards the wall.
Towards the wall. I can't remember, Paul. What do Yeffi even?
Excellent. Roll me an intelligence test. Let's see if Yeffi remembers.
Oh, she does not. I rolled a 2, which is a modified 1.
Yeah, you remember being dark and smelly and just being totally twisted around, and don't really remember how you're not even sure how you could,
Yeah,
how you could orient yourself down there.
It was dark. It was not back the way I came. It was back the other way down a hall, and like maybe 2 or 3 tunnels down. On the left, there was a door, just like your door, except for missing some marks. Really creepy door. And there was a big ritual circle in the middle. Some weird stains on the floor, and a dead goblin skeleton, and a big man with some big furry horns. And he scared the ever-living woo-ha out of me. And I said, you know what? When I go talk to Franz about the mud money, I might as well tell him about the demon, because this might concern him and his business down there. Because it sounded like a lot of people don't come to your door directly, but maybe some of your guys do, and I just don't want them dealing with some kind of, murder.
Listen, well, normally I'd say that sounds like a pretty tall tale and some like crazy shit, but we found something down there recently. Here, come here. You better see this. Come with me.
Okay.
And he walks back behind the bar. You find that there's actually a small door there, which he opens up, and he starts walking. He takes the lantern off the bar and starts walking down this very narrow, very cramped little tunnel through this doorway that's just barely wide enough for a person to fit in. You find it to be very claustrophobic, and he starts heading down there. Do you follow him?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. So he leads you down this, and as soon as you enter, the door, just from its weight, swings shut with a light thud behind you. And you find now that the only light in this space is this tiny little, low, dim lantern that he's walking down the passage with.
Yeah, he kind of reaches in for her robes, for her dagger, just in case.
Excellent.
Excellent. That there was this one time, there were some guys who jumped real bad, and I murdered them.
He turns, so you're following, you see him, the back of his head kind of bobbing in front of you, and he turns to his left, turns 90 degrees to his left, just as you're reaching down, you've got a hold of your dagger, and you almost bump into him. You kind of stop very close, your nose towards his cheek, and he looks at you and he says, "Careful, steps down here." And then he starts walking forward down a set of fairly steep steps.
She's gonna like feel the edge with her toe and kind of dip down and slowly walk down and kind of get a good gauge for his kidneys.
Yeah, he with his back to you, you feel like you actually have a pretty good shot at him if you wanted to take it. So he makes his way down the steps. They're very steep, very narrow. He groans a couple times as he lets himself down. You feel like you go down at least a full story worth of steps, and then he stops at a heavy door, and he knocks on it, and he goes, and then he says, "It's the boss," and the door swings open. And you can see a bunch of the guys that you saw before, and you see in front of you, actually, it opens out into a storage room. A lot of crates and barrels and shit, but a lot of them are pushed to the sides. And you realize this is the room you saw before from the other side. And you can see just down the other side, you can see that door that leads out into the passageway. sorry, into the sewer is what I mean to say. You can see that there's a couple of gentlemen down here look similar to the guys you saw down here before, but like I said, they've cleared out the space. They've set up sort of a barrel in the center of the room with a big board on it that they've kind of got set up as a makeshift table, and they pulled up crates and small barrels and whatnot to sit on as chairs, and it looks like they've got a little card game going. But they've all kind of stopped playing, and they're all looking up as he enters, and he looks at one of them. He says, "Is it still there in the corner there?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, boss. Yeah, it's still there. Come on." And he walks over into the corner of the room where there is a gap amongst the crates, and you can see a lump on the ground covered by a big blanket. And he reaches over and leans down to it, and he looks at you just for a moment, and he goes, "All right, get ready. It ain't pretty." And he lifts up the blanket, and you can see the mangled form of a dwarf laying on the ground, just torn up. Its face is just ruined. There's caked blood and it's grime and dirt. Part of the whole chunk of the beard is missing. There's places where you can see some white bone sticking out. Clearly, the body has taken some severe damage. Roll me an intelligence test, please, Yeffi.
Oh gosh. Oh boy, that's a 7.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Yeah, it's just a ruin of a body, and you can barely make out that it is a dwarf.
But does it smell of alcohol?
It smells of shit.
Okay, then it's not that guy.
You knows him?
Okay. You know hold on. It's gonna vomit a little in my mouth. Just.
Yeah, all right. He covers it back up.
It's rough. It's rough there.
Yeah, it's hard to recognize. His name was Gurnison. He did some odd jobs for me now and then. Mostly a drunk, not very useful, but he did odds and ends for us when we needed.
Oh, that's unfortunate. How did you find him? You find him in his room like this?
He pulls up a crate and kind of sits down on it and kind of leans onto it. You're still kind of in the corner. The group of 3 men you can see now standing over there. One of them's got a big crossbow, but he just set it on the ground. They go back to their card game. Says, "No, the boys found it down the tunnels a ways. Sometimes we use this access point and don't go blabbing about it. Not even all of my people know that this exists, but sometimes do you want to bring something in off the river and you don't want it seen? There's a spot where there's an outlet from the sewers into the river. You can bring your wares that way. Get them to the cross pikes, if you know what I mean."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so some fellas was down there close to the river, and they found him floating in the filth. It's rough. Something unnatural's happened to him. It don't look like your normal, stab to the kidney with a dagger to me. It looks like something half ate the guy.
Yeah, this is terrible. And
yeah,
it's definitely not like the goblin thing. This could have been that. This could have been that thing I saw. Could have done that to him.
So, let's go for a little. You up for a little walk?
I think I need some air.
Oh, it ain't gonna get better. And he starts walking towards the door that leads out into the sewer.
Oh no! Do I have to go on the wayside? Can I ride on your shoulders? Is that a thing?
No, don't worry about it. We don't need to cross. We don't need to cross ever. You just stay near the wall. You'll be fine.
I met this real nice dwarf up there that was a big alcoholic too, and I hope that's just not the guy, because he was quite a nice guy. I helped him out. With some stuff, and then he didn't do that much after that, but maybe he seemed like a nice enough guy.
Well, if it was him, his like I said, his name was Gurnison. He was a decent fella. Definitely liked his sauce. Anyway, come on. Follow me.
Yeah. Ooh.
He heads out the door and starts walking down the sewer tunnels. You walk for maybe half an hour. He's pretty quiet. He kind of lifts his shirt up to cover his face from the smell. So when he does talk, his voice is muffled, and generally he doesn't talk unless you want to say anything to him as you're walking down the sewers.
Yeffi's just gonna trail behind him and kind of try to keep as mindful as Yeffi can be, eye on where she's going.
Yep.
You know, like, is anywhere near is anything familiar to where we were?
The whole trip is actually incredibly familiar. It basically feels like you're retracing exactly where you went previously, from this door towards the other door. And just as you get to that point where you can see coming up ahead on your left is where you think the other door where the horrible demon might be, he stops and he points, and you can just kind of vaguely see the outline of the door, and he's got his face covered, and he just kind of in a hushed voice he leans in real close and he goes, "Is that the place?"
That's the door. That's it.
Yeah. All right, we had to check. Let's go back.
Okay. What is that place? Do you know that?
We'll talk about it back at the bar. Go. This is disgusting.
It is. It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
I mean, human feces are the worst.
You hurry back, taking perhaps even less time this time on your way back to the bar, where he leads you back through the basement and back up the stairs and into the bar. He grabs a bottle and a couple of glasses and leads you over to a table in the bar itself, and kind of near the front of the tavern, so that he can push open a window and you can get a little breath of fresh air. And he breathes in. Oh, that's better. Hui. And then he pours some liquor for the two of you. Yeah, I know. I never looked in that door, and from what you're talking about, it sounds like I don't wanna. But I know where it is. I can tell you, that's right underneath the Steinhager place.
Steinhager?
Yeah, they're a merchant family. Some of my boys have seen them moving about. Some of their folk moving about late at night a lot recently. So they're definitely up to something.
They're moving up and around. Like, I hear there's a lot of different kind of groups here in Bogenhafen. Like,
well, there's the. Are you talking about like who runs the place? I mean, basically, you got your four big merchant families, and then you got the guilds on the official level, and then there's us. You know,
so
we're family.
Like yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
I take care of take care of my family. We could take care of you too, Yeffi, if you feel like staying in Bogenhafen.
I'll have to see. I have a couple of friends who are helping me out right now. You know, but it's always nice. I'm kind of on the go. You know, I like Frank. Frank's a nice guy. There's deals with him. You know, maybe some of it's on the go kind of business. I like it. Can't quite keep me down. Can't quite keep me pinned down. You know, something happens to find it out. So it's hard to pin me down. But anyway, with this Steinhagen, is that right?
Steinhager.
Yeah, Steinhager. Is that their warehouse? Is that where they keep stuff? Do you ever hear any noises from there or anything?
No, it's their offices. It's where they do business. It's a nice place up there. You know, when we was that long passageway we went through that led there, you notice how it kind of curved to the left the whole time? It kept curving. That follows the Adel Ring. We was right under the Adel Ring that whole time.
Adel Ring.
Yeah. That's the nice part of town. That's where the them hoity-toities live.
Rich people with demons are the worst. That's the worst kind of demon you can have. That's like a full-on infestation of like really prim and proper evil. So yeah, man, like, oh man, how do you even handle that? Like, do you have another group that's like warring with them? Like, how do you even get away from like?
I don't know. They don't have any enemies in town that I know of. You know, like I said, the merchant families basically run this place, and they're all real tight. I even heard once somebody mention they got themselves a little secret club. They call themselves something fancy sounding. The Ordo Septenarius, I heard.
Ordo Septatank? What?
Ah, no, it's a rich people club.
Anything
All the
with
movers
septic-
and shakers in the town seem to be part of it. You know, they don't let the likes of us into that kind of circle, if you know what I mean. You got any friends with Poe? You got any any lords? If not,
Well,
maybe you better just walk away from this whole mess, because I don't know what they're up to.
I know
Really?
Baron.
Really?
Yeah, but he's not in this area. No, he's in some other place. Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to know a Baron.
I dated him. You know, it was a short-lived relationship, but it was
Really?
something. Yeah, we danced, and then I kind of threw some stuff at him, told him to get out. He turned into a bat. You know, normal stuff. Normal stuff you do.
Is he a wizard?
No, it's a ghost. So,
Oh boy,
yeah, it's so complicated.
this is. You know what? I deal with some really ugly people. A lot of thieves, a lot of cutthroats, murderers. Man, I take those people over ghosts and demons any day.
Definitely the demon part. I'm right out there. I mean, I'm really worried that they're just gonna like take over the place with their weird demon cults and stuff. I mean, they're poisoning people clearly to cover it up. We did a whole bunch of stuff with the justice recently to make sure that the goblin got covered up in some warehouse, but clearly it didn't. He got murdered down there in that office by summoning a demon.
That's pretty sketchy sounding.
It was really sketchy. So what's with the justice around here, huh? I mean, that one guy, I'm pretty sure he got poisoned, and then there's another guy who's like a giant frog man or whatever. I don't know. This is secondhand information. I didn't see the frog man, but supposedly he was kind of like dopey and round and didn't like the sunlight.
I'm not sure what you're talking about now. But what's the justice who got poisoned? Who's that?
That's the Richter guy. The
Justice Richter. Yeah, that guy's straight. That he is. I can tell you, he is not on the take.
That's probably what poisoned.
Poisoned. Somebody poisoned him.
Yeah, 'cause he started looking into the goblin thing.
Why would somebody? Oh, really?
I think so. I mean, I think Indigo thinks so, and that's probably why I think so. And
I never thought I would have felt bad for a justice, but that's rough. Sounds like more reason for me not to get involved in this nonsense.
Man, have you noticed the moon's really weird too? What's with that?
I
It's
have
big
seen
and
that.
weird.
Morsley's is green and weird looking. I've seen that. So what do you want, Yeffi? What are you looking to do here? Are you trying to find answers? Are you trying to stop this? Are you are you looking for work to make a buck? What do you want?
Well, I always like money to make a buck, like work to make a buck. But more importantly, I think that that demon needs to be stopped. I have people here I think that I generally care about that I don't want to see harmed by some weird demon thing.
Wow.
Right? Like, if you guys seem pretty straight. I mean, for cutthroats and murderers and thieves, you seem like the nicest people I've met in Bogenhafen so far. So, I'd rather not have a demon cult group like murdering you down in the sewer.
some cutthroats I know are the nicest fellas. I also, I like Bogenhafen. I like working here. It's not a bad place to make a living. This stuff, ghosts, demons, this all sounds well out of my realm of expertise, but if there's anything we can do to help yous, you go ahead and knock on the door to the Cross Pikes anytime. Hell, I'll tell them to wake me up if it's the daytime.
Wow, that's serious sauce. You know what? I think I gotta figure out what the other ones are doing right now with the Richter. I know they were trying to find him some kind of cure or something they could do to help him so that he could unravel a little bit more of this mystery for us.
All right. Well, we'll be here. You tell us. You come on by if you needs anything. If you are headed out of town, though, let me know, because sometimes I got to move stuff out of Bogenhafen. Maybe I can make it worth your while.
Yeah, I think that might be something I would be interested in, And,
all right.
If you need anything, I'm always available for chatting. Oh, one more thing. I got this weird bauble here. It's very rare, very unique, very dwarven made. Yeah, look at that. Do you have any idea what that might be?
I don't know what that is. You said it's dwarf make? He starts peering at it and poking at it. Looks fancy. Well, I can see what, yep. Lots of moving bits. What's this do? Tick, tick, tick. Ooh. That's sharp. I could probably move it if you're trying to move it, but might, probably get a better price if you knew what the hell it was. Do you know what it is?
Yeah. I nope.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
If you want to offload it, I can find a way to do that, but I bet you get more money if you could tell me what the hell it does.
Yeah, I think I gotta try to find it. It's too bad about your dwarf friend. He might have known. I just, I failed that class in engineering school, so it's not the worst. But the other question I have for you, right quick, Frank, before I leave, before I have to head out, other than what are they playing downstairs? Because I think it was euchre. Gosh, what's their names? The Rug Broders, those guys. Anything about those guys? I was told specifically to watch out for them, but again, that's coming from my ex, and I don't know if I can trust it because it's my ex.
What do I know about the Rug Broders? They move a lot of produce. They basically got the market cornered in Helmgart and Bretonia, right? They import a lot from outside the Empire. They got some warehouses down on the Ostendam. Yeah, they compete a little bit with the Tugans.
Tugans. Do they have anything to do with these guys, the Hogs?
No. They're one of the Rug Broders and the Steinhagers and the Tugans and the Hagens. Those are the four ruling merchant families. So they're all as thick as thieves, really. But they've got their own little competitions and whatnot. But mostly they work together.
And the Steinhagers, they have any other do they have a leader or anyone who's in charge of their house or?
That'd be Franz Steinhager, and he's got a brother Heinrich.
Franz and Heinrich.
Yep. I mean, like most of the merchant families, they own a lot of property in the city. They've also got a bunch of warehouses and wharves down on the Ostendam. But like I said, they do most of their business out of that building down the block.
The one that leads down to the demon hole.
Yep.
All right. It's good to know. Well, thank you, Franz. If you need anything, I got some nice rings here for you. It's just getting low on my cash flow, so I definitely need another mark.
Oh, I'm
In
sorry.
future.
You wait. You looking to make a score? Or are you looking to fence some goods?
I need some goods to fence.
Ah, yeah. All right. Well, I'll see what I can ask around. What's your specialty?
My specialty right now is getting into tight places and spaces.
All right.
And, perfumes. Really good at snagging the perfumes. Sometimes the pockets, but mostly I like house parties. Because everybody doesn't, worry too much when their silverware goes missing. Only in the morning do they realize half of their personal items are gone.
I mean, if you wanted to maybe put together a job with some of my boys, if you were thinking of checking out the Steinhager place, there's probably some nice pickings over there.
Shit.
We could put that together.
Yeah. But let me just talk with my group, my friends. They are
right.
my friends, even though Bruno is often mean to me and disrespectful, and a little bit too.
Have you tried breaking his kneecaps? I find that usually works. Someone's being disrespectful. Take a kneecap out.
His kneecap, he's already really low to the ground. I don't know how much of a detriment that was. I am so sorry. I have a dog barking.
So, as you are sort of talking over the last few things with Franz and trying to slowly leave the tavern, in fact, as you're kind of standing in the doorway, Patches comes trotting up and starts barking at you.
Patches, what is it?
Yeah, he's barking and he's rubbing against you and he barks at you and he sits and he stares at you and then he gets back up and he barks again. Is this your dog?
Yes, this is my dog. This is my dog Patches, who's very royal. Actually, he's
What happened to his eye?
I think. He's a rescue dog. He's a rescue dog. We rescued him from
So you
a man
don't know.
who. I don't know, but I do know it was some bullshit.
All right.
So,
Is this before or after
Yeah.
I have purchased an eye patch for Patches?
It's after, but let's see if Patches still has his eye patch on or if it's somewhere else.
Oh, no, buddy!
Yeah, he's not wearing an eye patch.
Fuck!
No.
aren't you the best dog ever? I love you so much. I love
Stop.
this is a lucrative liquor.
He slobbers on you for a minute and then starts barking again.
Okay, Patches. Did Bruno fall down a well? Did Indigo trip? What's happening? What's going on? Huh? You just
Right.
want to treat, don't you? You wanna treat.
So he does seem like he's trying to lead you off. He trots down a few steps down the street and then looks back at you. And you come up to him and you pet him some more and he bolts forward again. And he leads you down the road and back to that little courtyard where you remember previously coming up through a sewer with your friends, and you can see the manhole there where you guys came up, and the manhole cover is open, and there's a rope drop down it, and the end of the rope is tied to a statue, a small garden statue of a house nearby, and it kind of rocks and shakes a little bit, and then you see Bruno pulling himself up out of the hole. He pulls himself up.
The hole that I'm looking at with the statue?
Yeah, so it's an open manhole cover, and there's a rope that's tied to a nearby statue that then leads down the hole, and he's climbing up the rope. Bruno pulls himself up out of the rope. He looks at you and he goes, "Yeffi, I shouldn't have eaten that pie. I gotta find a bathroom," and he just books. And a moment or two later, you see Trebbiano emerging from the hole.
What?
I would ask where he went, but I do not care. Would you give me a hand?
Yeah, I'll help Triviano out, but I'll be like, "What? You eating pie down in the sewer? Did you?
Yeah, I
just-
don't know.
You didn't,
I don't know.
what the hell
I do
did
not
you do
pretend
to
to
Bruno?
know. I did not. So why is it my fault that he is stupid?
It's not your fault. I'm not saying he's always been that way. He's always been that way. You're absolutely right. No, it's its own fault. The pie isn't to go down there.
I really hate to be of pushy nature, but would you help me out of this hole? I am uncoordinated and very large. And
Yeah,
also
yeah,
Indigo is
I'll
below
help
me.
Okay, I'll help
So-
you. Yeah, sure.
Do I have to roll anything?
What's the holdup,
No.
Trev?
I'm going as fast as I can, my friend.
No, Treviano, you pull yourself up and you see the little garden statue of Sigmar kind of falls over, and it scrapes a little bit on the street, but it more or less stays. You pull yourself
Would
up.
not have happened if it was a statue of Manan. I'm just saying. I'm gonna get out of the way.
And Treviano, you pull yourself up, and then Indigo starts to climb out as well. And as the three of you stand there, and as soon as Indigo comes up, Patches runs up and starts licking his face as Indigo's
Patches.
trying to pull himself out.
Oh, no, not right
and there's
now. No, wait a minute, buddy.
then there's no sign of Bruno. He's gone somewhere.
It's because of all the pie. Pie that was probably rightfully mine that he ate.
Oh. Hey, Yeffi.
Wow. Hey, what are you doing down there? What are you doing in the sewer?
Well, it's a good thing you asked. Then I dramatically whip the handkerchief at her. We found
Excellent.
that in the room the demon should have been.
Oh, we went to
found a
go
hanky.
kill the demon.
Oh, that
Oh
sounds.
yeah, I did not mention that part.
Like
Look,
just
we
now.
did not know where you were.
Well, I was over with Franz. Our friend Franz, we met in the sewer.
Yeah, we did not know you were there, so we just went.
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, so there were enemies.
Well, we're
you
here
killed them.
now. We wanted to kill the demon, but it was not there. The room was cleaned most profusely. It was scrubbed as if there was nothing there except for this handkerchief and some inscriptions that Bruno may or may not have seen, but he's gone out of the picture now, so we will ask him later.
That's a super strange hanky for a demon to have.
Yeah.
Like, do demons remove hankies? That seems
No,
super
no.
strange.
No, it was not the demons. It was probably like the goblins.
Oh, the goblins. Yeah, because he was
Goblins,
like,
okay.
wait.
Goblins definitely don't have handkerchiefs.
That's super weird.
Well, if it was not belonging to the demon, it was not belonging to the goblin. Who could it have been?
So you were down there. While you were down there, I was talking to Franz, and he was saying that room is part of a
Franz,
warehouse.
what?
Franz.
What's his
Franz
last name?
of the...
Franz starts with an F.
Does? It starts with a fifth sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to take my word for it. I can read, I promise.
Why don't you give it an F? Sure, okay. Don't see why that matters. But
Well, because there's an
Franz.
F and an S on the handkerchief. Obviously, this means Franz is evil.
that's it. Does the F also stand for other
He's the only
words?
other person we knew was in the sewers.
Well, okay, so he took me around because he found one of his dwarf compatriots brutally murdered, and he wanted to show me where the door was.
Oh.
And he showed me that door. He goes, "Is that the place that you saw the demon?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "That's a larger warehouse of one of the rich merchant families in Bogenhafen named Steinhager." And I asked who those
Steinhager
people were.
begins with an S.
Does it?
Oh.
Yes.
Listen, I need to take 1 minute to say goodnight to someone who's very sleepy. Out of game, I probably need to say goodnight to her son. I will be right back. But oh my god, I'm just in so much shock that Yeffi just is going to go, I don't know the alphabet.
I catch her, she falls. Got her.
Yeffi has a for a moment has a brainstorm. Oh my god, you guys! Franz, there are two Franzes. There's Franz Bauman, who's the guy I was talking to, and then there's Franz Steinhager. is another of the Franzes. It's Franz, and he has a brother. Bauman was telling me about the Steinhagers are two brothers named Franz and Heinrich. I think I just totally mixed Yeffi voice and Franz Bauman voice there. My apologies.
It was very entertaining
Don't tell
for people
Colleen.
like me. Thank you.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
You never left.
I know, but I was so shocked. It's like the universe opened up in my mind, and I saw that a rich man named Franz
just said
Steinhager
this.
and his brother. Yeah.
Yeffi,
but
we understand.
that
Yeah,
could
no,
be
we got it.
That's your handkerchief.
No,
That's
really.
your handkerchief. And acid and F. And that's.
Yeah.
I did say that. Did I say it in Paul's
The
voice?
merchant, yes.
Yeah.
Yeffi, you also recall that the Franz you were talking to, his last name is Bauman.
That's right. His name is Bauman, which starts with a B sound, which is, as we all know, the letter beta.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's true somewhere. So, I think it's clear what we have to do. We have to go...
We have to go kill the
actually,
Steinhagers.
That's what I was going to say, but then there was a little voice in the back
Oh.
of my head that says that is a terrible idea, and we should not do that.
Well, here's the thing. So my front man can also set me up with jobs. So we could break into one of the Steinhager's houses, right? And then we could go on the down low, scout it out, figure out what occult hoobajus they got going on there with their weird occult nonsense, and then we could steal a lot of stuff, make a lot of money and profit, and possibly stop a demon. Yeah, yeah. You
I
wanna
see
do
no
that?
downsides to
Two
the plan.
things
All right,
I
now we
like
gotta
all
get
of
through
those
this.
things.
When did you say the job was?
When I think it's whenever we want.
I love
I set
them.
it up.
Let us do it.
Let's get it set up. Let's go. We're bringing patches. I think we should bring patches. He could be a good asset to have.
The
You can keep watching.
loud one-eyed dog?
Gosh, look at him. He looks so lonely. Look at his little face. And he's drooling right now. And his tongue's just hanging out of his
Yeah,
mouth. He's just... How could you
I
say
have
no
no
to this
pity
face?
for this.
How could you say no?
He's
I can't
more
say
than
no to that.
allowed to come accompany with us on our journey. But into the house where we can leave fur and drool behind it, I don't know.
We'll just leave him outside of the house.
That sounds like a beautiful plan. You are a genius, Yeffi.
Oh, that's so nice. I like that. Like, that's kind of like... I don't know what that means. But let's go. And let's go talk to Franz. Franz
Yeah.
from the Bronx.
Let's do it.
Bronx.
Excellent.
Oh, hey, whatever happened to Richter? Did he die?
Oh.
No, you wanna go? You do Indigo. You make
Well,
voice.
well,
We think he's going to be a full recovery. We found a doctor who actually knows what they're doing and has seen this before. Oh, he says it was a horrible poison. I don't know if you were around for that part. Super rare poison, only very rich people could get their hands on.
Yeah. Well, we kind of figured that out, right?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
confirmation. I
Man.
guess.
Okay. Let's go do this. So we're gonna go over to the Cross Pikes, Paul, and
Okay,
we'll
great.
do
Great.
the front.
So shortly after having left the Cross Pikes, the group, minus one halfling, plus one dog, arrives at the Cross Pikes. And you head in, and you can see, again, there's a couple people sitting around having hushed conversation, and there is you can see Franz back at the bar, looks up, kind of surprised to see you, waves you on over. You head over to the bar. He's actually immediately sets up 4 glasses, pours some ale out. Come on, let's grab the back table over here. He
All right, sounds good. That's a shady table.
goes into perhaps the darkest corner of the tavern, and he sits. The 4 of you sit around. Now it's quite late at night at this point, as you all sit around the table, and he he looks across to you and he says, "All right, that was faster than I was expecting, but fortune favors the bold."
Bruno had to go to the bathroom, so we were expedited.
I had to go to the
I
bathroom.
don't know. Yeah, I guess bad pie. I don't know. He got into something.
He's gross.
He's
super
gross.
gross. I mean, sometimes he's nice, but he's mainly gross.
Eh.
Nice.
Okay. So we're interested in maybe doing a deal or a mark against that Steinhagen house. We got some nice players in there.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he
I'm
loves-
sure they do. They're rich merchants. It's ballsy going after the Steinhagers, but why not? I'm in.
Nice. How are we gonna get started?
So what are you thinking? Just smash and grab?
Like the last time, we kind of just went in as into a party or got into some kind of event they may be having, or undercover is usually nice. Like going in as some staff and then cleaning up.
Well,
You could.
I don't know about.
What's-
I don't know nothing about any events. And they keep. I mean, it's their place of business. If they were gonna have a party, they do it at their fancy house. They wouldn't do it down at the offices.
So, here's a wild plan.
Frank, he's in the
Oh, hi, nice to meet you, Frank. I've heard a lot about you. We met before.
It's
I was
Franz.
covered in sewage. Franz. It's
Yeah.
great to meet you. I was covered in sewage the last time we met.
Yeah, well, you stink pretty
Now
bad
I'm
right
not.
now.
Yes, also recently in the sewer. What are you gonna do? So what if maybe a rich individual who travels through more clandestine circles pays a visit to the Steinhagen place of business and tries to get a tour? Is that what rich people do? See who they're doing business with, and that rich person could sneak you all in as a
entourage. I learned that
staff?
word. Yes, Dad.
Entourage.
I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds pretty convoluted to me. Usually, the type of jobs I do, we go around this time of night when no one's in those buildings, and we smash the lock in, and then we go in and we take what we want and we leave. That's usually how it's done. I mean, we
Yeah.
could certainly,
Have you,
my boys, they're not the best of actors.
You know what, Indigo? It might be good to go in and get into the warehouse to see what might be there, and then do another job at the fancy house using the methods that you're talking about.
Oh, they own warehouses too. You were talking about hitting their warehouse? Or the office?
Their office. The offices.
Yeah, that's two different
ones that-
places. That's two different places, Yeffi. They've got warehouses up on the Ostendam, up on the river. They got a bunch of big warehouses where they store their goods that they're moving on and off their ships. And then they got their offices. That's around the corner. And then they got their fancy houses. That's on the Idle Ring. The Steinhagers are quite rich. Maybe I haven't mentioned that. One of the richest families here in Bogenhafen.
maybe I should mention.
Oh,
I mean, you did, but I am, not really used to all those things. So
Yeah, they own a lot of stuff. They got a lot of property. Now, I wouldn't think to hit the warehouse. I think you hit the warehouse, you're gonna get whatever goods they're moving around. That's big, bulky stuff. That's difficult to move. The choicest stuff's probably in their house, right? But they're probably there, right? There's probably always someone there. There's some maid servants or whatnot. That's a tough job. Now their offices, that feels like a nice, good middle ground to me because they're only there during the day to conduct their business and write their fancy letters and all that shit. And then hopefully maybe they still got some nice stuff down there.
What are we looking for in regards to the things that we found in the sewer? What actually are... Excuse me for a moment, Franz. I do not mean to interrupt, and I am very
No,
stupid and
go
small.
on.
I don't know how to ask. I want to ask what like our internal party goal is at it. Like we could just rob him blind, right? Potentially, like good, bad, whatever. But like information-wise, what do we actually want to get out of this? Like we already know that he's connected to the demon. Is it like connection to other people, or like ways of taking him down?
I
guess like
it's
evidence.
Incriminating
He's already in with
evidence
the guard, though.
Yeah.
Right,
Also,
like
where
he is.
So I think it's also information on whether or not they're summoning other demons or other nasty things, and what their motivations might be, and that might lead us back to their house, where it probably has some giant ritual happening.
Like more concrete proof, basically, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we're trying to find their plans.
And also, like,
figure out what they're trying to do.
Sure, okay.
And also maybe
just
where
wanted
they
to get on the
put
same
the
page.
current demon.
That's true. You don't really unsummon them that well, do you? Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, thank you. Just wanted to know.
Yeah, so the office
Franz
might
talking.
be... Yeah, he was. But I interrupt him all the time.
Yeah. Well, I assumed you wanted to hit the office, because it's above that certain place that we all know.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the big demon room. Yes, okay.
Right. I mean, if
Yeah.
they're hiding that there, probably they hired some other nice stuff there too, right?
Yes.
I mean, you don't
Smart
do
man.
that kind of thing, out in public.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they might
do
have,
where you
like,
got
a
a nice
really-
hidey hole. Yeah.
You know,
got some necklaces.
this is a nice change of pace for us. Franz, we're used to our plans being significantly more complex than this. And I really like the simplicity and elegance.
simple
of, Let's
guy.
just go get him.
I'm a simple guy. Look. This is the kind of job that I organize. Like, you want to do, let's make believe that we are some other people, and then we're gonna make connections and talk to people and whatnot. Like, I don't know. I guess I know some mummers I could maybe connect you with. Maybe they do that kind of thing. My guys usually, we operate at nighttime. When everyone's sleeping, we look for places we can hit, where there's no guards gonna attack us. When you want to do this?
Can we do it tonight?
We could. Haven't had time to case the joint, so we'll have to be ready for who knows what. But
How long does casing take?
Let's,
couple.
yes, we need to.
I mean, we could send someone.
Casing.
No. I mean, like watch, find out what time does somebody show up in the morning, what time do they leave at night, who stays behind, right? Usually you give it a day, right? You watch the place for a good day at least to find out who's there when.
Yeah, that's smart.
Wow.
It's pretty
That's good.
pretty
So they
straightforward
might
stuff.
catch on. They might catch on that you're looking at them, and then that
That's
gives you
right.
away.
That's
But
true. That's true.
Now
Yeah.
they don't know who
Oh,
did it.
here's a point.
Yep. Yeah. And you never know, right? It's a big building that they got over there. We could probably watch the outside of it, but who knows what's on the inside?
We are going to know, because we are going to go in there and beat people up.
How many people you want?
How big is the place? Do we know? Like, have we seen it?
You haven't seen it, no.
Oh, okay, so we're blind. How many guys do we want?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could send some of my boys with you. You get a little extra muscle and some expertise, and getting in and out of places.
It would be nice to have expertise.
They're each gonna want to share whatever you find.
Hey, that's better than the losses we've been taking lately, telling you. At least it's
All right.
not positive.
Maybe 3 more people.
All right. 3 of mine, 3 of
Anything
yours.
more?
Split it 50-50.
Math works
Sounds
out.
good for me.
Sounds like an afternoon. Let's do this.
No, I recommend you do it late at night, not in the afternoon.
No, I mean now.
Oh, that is a good point, actually.
Yeah. So under the cover of night. Like
Alright.
literally right now.
I'll get some fellas.
All right. Cool. I don't mean to interrupt our euchre game.
not them. I'll get some other fellas. Yeah. Go make yourselves ready. Come back in an hour. We'll get going. It'll be close to getting close on dawn by then, but we should have time.
All right.
Great.
Get patches ready.
This is exciting.
Yeah. We'll find some information. We'll get in there. We get some nice good. See if we can sell some stuff from rich people always have the nicest stuff. And it could be stuff that no one cares about, like a quill or, a cool paperweight, but it's gold for some unknown reason. Like, who does that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So that's not funny.
Dumb. Yeah, we should just do that, right? Maybe we should get some disguisers from made up clothing or
You really
Yeah.
like disguises, I have come to understand.
they're handy. They're handy.
Man, I'm amped.
Maybe we can get
All
some masks.
Sure, we could do some masks.
Yes, because I have this very distinguishing, cool, awesome scar across my face. You are brilliant. Everyone will remember me if they see the scar. You are very smart.
All right, so we get some masks, Paul. We
Excellent.
We
Masks.
ship them on some fabric,
Okay.
probably some of Bruno's stuff, and then
Well, they probably have. They have thieving masks here. We could probably borrow
I
some.
mean, if you're just talking like a black scarf to tie over your
Yeah.
nose and mouth, yeah, you can. That's
Yeah.
easily enough to find. Easy enough to find.
Nice. Oh, we're gonna look so cool.
so cool.
We're gonna
He
look
does have stuff in a warehouse. Like if they're moving like big magic stuff, I don't know how magic works. I don't even know if they have magic in this world.
God, I'm
Yeah,
trying
maybe
so
it's
hard
not.
to learn magic.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I do think we might want to case their house if they're up to no good after this, if we get anything good out of this place. And then if we, like, see that there's something like 5 or 4 of those demons, we could just be like, yep, I'm out.
That sounds good
Or
to me.
I'm in.
I agree.
All right. What you guys have an hour to get stuff together. Is there anything else besides getting masks that you want to do?
Some rope. Do we have more rope? Get more
We
rope.
should get some rope.
I feel like rope is like a universally useful tool.
Yeah. So it's late at night, so you can't really like go shopping, but common stuff like that you could probably just ask Franz for, and he can dig up.
Nice.
Rope. I
Like
have
the
a small
rope?
lamp and not light yet. And got my daggers and probably some kind of tools if there's locks.
Also some lantern oil, because I'm fresh out.
Okay. You can get some lantern oil.
Sounds
Anything
like
else?
we don't want to do that much. We're pretty ready, I think.
Okay. Great. Just putting together a little something here.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. That should do. Okay. So. Okay. You come back in an hour. You see there. As you come out to the cross pikes, you can see a little group of people standing around the outside, smoking a pipe. So just one pipe, passing it around. You can see there's 4 of them as you come up, and you can see one of them is in fact Franz. He nods at you as you approach, And he says, Yeffi, Indigo, Treviano. This is Maurice, Hugo, and Constance. They nod at you. Maurice is a big bruiser-looking fellow. Hugo is small and wiry. Constance, you can see, they're all human. Constance is fairly athletic-looking young woman who's carrying a crossbow.
Hey, we
Like they
match.
need all. I don't have a crossbow.
But you gave me the crossbow.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we collectively match.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure Tribiana's holding the crossbow. He's useless otherwise.
Yeah, so I'm all really pumped and really excited about this job tonight, guys. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna kill it, and we're
Sweet.
gonna find some really cool things. So let's head out.
Yes.
Okay, so you head out. You go. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Here we go. You head out late at night, the six of you, skulking along up the Kaufmannstrasse, around the outside of the Adel Ring. And you eventually come to... It's there. You pass outside beyond the Adel Ring, and you start to head down this edge of the Kaufmannstrasse, kind of starting to get closer past the wall. You pass Handelsweg, and then just as you pass Handelsweg, the cluster of buildings on your left, they motion to. And you can see... Here you go. You can see this large building surrounded by a big stone wall. You actually get the impression that it's probably, it looks like a good, stout, fairly large building. There are several doors. There's a big set of double doors that lead right out there onto the Kaufmannstrasse. There's windows around the outer sides. This is the entire perimeter of the building that you're looking at here. You can see this little cluster of trees around the back.
All right.
There you go. So you come kind of from the bottom of this map. So you see there's some little trees down there towards the bottom. Here, let's just zoom in a little bit. There we go. Coming up with the Kaufmannstrasse on your right, and you can see the main entryway into the building appears to be these double doors that lead out onto Kaufmannstrasse.
How many floors tall is it again?
Looks to be just one story tall, but it is quite wide, quite large.
Sure.
It looks like those double doors could easily admit a full-sized cart.
Oh.
That's
wow.
really big.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, the scale. I'm noticing the key now.
There you go.
That's big then.
Oh. Okay. Is there a back door? I'll kind of mosey on towards the back.
Do you go around the right or the left side of the building?
The left side.
Okay. So you go down the small side alley down the side, circling around, and you can see... is that the right tool? There we go. I think right around here there are some double doors just opposite those trees there that also appear to lead into the building there. There was actually, as you came down, there was another door along the side. Can I find it? Yep, there it is. So there's a normal sized, person-sized door there on your right as you come down this alleyway, and then as it hooks open into this larger open area to the north, you can see a set of double doors, although they're standard-sized double doors, not big, hefty ones like you saw in the front of the building.
Okay.
All right. Let me go to
Any
the side door
windows?
there. Yeah, windows.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. That is in fact a window that I revealed there, not a door, along the alleyway. That is a window.
Indigo, make a peep.
Peep.
No, I mean like not like peep through the window.
Where's
Oh.
everyone else at this point? Does everybody come down the alleyway? All 6 of you?
No, I'm staying in the trees with the guys. I'm like, they're gonna go
I
look in
assume
the
there should be
window.
a scout, yeah.
All right. So Yeffi, you and Maurice and Hugo and Constance are down at the trees on the south
I'm
side
also
of the
there.
building.
I thought
You're
Indigo
also
went on
there.
his own.
Okay, Indigo's on
Oh,
his
I'm
own.
there?
No, you tell me.
I am not there.
Okay, very good. Indigo, you're all alone. You came down You came down the alleyway. You saw the window. You peeked around the corner. You saw the double doors. What are you doing?
I'll peek through the window, see what's inside.
Roll me.
Love roll
Give a
dice.
Do you have a light source, Indigo?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm just sort of. I'm gonna press my face right up to it and see if
Yeah.
I can like.
It's totally dark in there. Completely dark.
Does the window open?
Yeah, it looks like it could open. You're not sure if it's latched or not.
I try it.
Yeah.
It is latched shut.
Ah,
You can see as you try to shift it a little bit, you see the little metal latch on the inside that's holding the two pieces in place.
These guys button up better than Bruno does.
I'll go to that door in the back and I'll try to open it. I doubt it's unlocked, but
It is definitely locked.
okay. And are there any more windows on this side of the building?
You completing your circuit
this
around the
back
building?
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come around. There's another one here, kind of near the top corner there. There's a window.
I'll try to open that one too.
Nope, also latched shut.
Oh, shoot.
Darn. I mean, I didn't expect it would be this easy anyway. Great. I'll walk over to the alleyway and I'll wave the rest of the group.
So you go back the way you came.
Yeah.
Back down.
Yeah.
Very good. You head back down. You come all the way back down to the alleyway. You wave to your compatriots.
We go over when we see him.
Okay. Okay. One by one, each of you crosses across the open space into the alleyway between the two buildings. That is a large building, by the way, on the left side. That's just an adjacent
There are no other
building.
There are no other people around, right? Huh?
It's like 2 or 3 in the morning at this point. And you definitely realize that you're in an area that is not really residential, right? This is clearly some kind of official buildings around here that are used for business. So it seems pretty empty.
I found a couple windows. I think if we could unlatch them, they're the best way in.
You could probably unlatch them with your bendy arms, Yeffi, yes?
If there's glass in the way, that's a problem.
Shoot.
I mean, we could break the glass. It might make a sound. We could try to muffle
don't
it
you have, like,
somehow.
Can't you like jimmy it or use some tools or something like that?
We could try to do it. Morris, do you have any kind of sound in that?
Maurice looks surprised and looks over, and actually Hugo steps forward and he says, "Like, you mean like a bit of wire? A bit of wire?"
Yeah, a bit of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulls out a long piece of wire out of a little black pouch he's got.
All right.
Try.
Come on, Hugo. Let's go over that window.
Did it.
Hugo heads over to the window and tries to work the piece of wire into the latch. Hugo rolls a 16. So with a little bit of effort, indeed the latch gives, and there's the metal latch clicks, and then he's able to press his hands against the panes of glass and slowly lift open the window. It raises up.
Nice.
And then he looks.
Awesome.
Prop me up and I'll sneak inside.
He holds his hand. Hugo bends down, holds his hands in a little basket. And you step in, and
if he's gonna squeeze through the opening like melted butter, just
roll me an agility test. Roll me an agility test, and use your give me your contortionist bonus to that.
It's a 12. It's a 12.
Okay, so you squeeze, you pass through the window just fine, and are surprised to find yourself sitting on a desk, and there's like a couple of papers kind of crunch underneath your bottom as you land kind of sitting on the desk, and something rolls and clunks onto the floor with like a metal on wood kind of or metal on stone kind of sound as it rolls off the desk and thunk.
I'm definitely going to roll off the desk into the chair that's most likely in front of the desk and hide in it.
Excellent. Okay.
Like a pillow. Like I'm pretending to be a throw pillow in the chair.
Okay. You roll under the desk. You're totally quiet. Give me an intelligence test.
Aha! It's a 16, everyone.
Nice.
That means I actually rolled a 15.
That's enough. You have a moment. Yeah, everybody else is outside, pressed against the walls. You're very quiet for a moment, and you hear a snuffling noise from across the room. It's muffled, but it's definitely a kind of noise.
Oh God!
It seems to be, it's coming from across the room, like on the other side from where you came in.
Oh God! It's a dog! It's a guard dog!
But then it goes away.
Get up out of the chair. Up onto the desk, my face to the window. She's gonna press her little beard face to the little slot of the window. There's some kind of animal in here. It's sniffing around. But I think it's okay to come inside.
Okay.
Oh boy!
Do you want to come in through the window? There's a desk right here. I don't know if the tall people can make it. I might have to get
We can open the
Thank you
window.
very much. Yeah. Whatever.
Oh my God, I'm try to get the door. All right, Yeffi is going to very daftly sneak over to that back door that's next to the window.
Okay, so it's very dark in here. Yeffi, I assume you didn't bring any light source with you, so you start moving. You start moving in that direction. Sorry.
I do have a small lantern, but I'm not going to light it because that would just alarm the sniffer.
Okay. So it's very dark.
Sniffer.
So yeah. So you felt more than saw this desk. And so it's incredibly dark. You're moving over there towards the left. You remember there being a set of double doors, but then you encounter a wall.
Chased. Okay. I go back up to the window. You're just going to have to come through the window because there's a wall. And I don't know how to get around it here.
Okay.
I'm just going to lift it up the window a little bit higher.
Okay.
Yeah. Indigo will try to climb through. Or maybe
Excellent.
someone else should go for it next.
Indigo, are you wearing your armor?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably I would be.
Okay.
That,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. It does jangle as you move around. I think you have chain, right? Chain armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does jangle as you move about. It is not the quietest thing.
Uh-huh.
You shift in there. Give me an agility roll.
Okay. Ooh, that's pretty good. 19.
Okay. It makes a little noise as you make your way into the room, but you very carefully, very quietly climb in. Are you carrying a light, Indigo?
I'm not.
Okay, very good. You are now also in a darkened room.
Great.
Is there a light fixture on this desk, like a small lantern or anything like that?
Or a candle?
You feel around on top of the desk. You feel some papers. You find like an ink pot and a quill, but you don't find a candle. Okay, you've got the quill.
I have ink in my pocket.
This is all being done by feel, mind you. So feeling around on the top of the table, you don't find anything at this point. Yeffi, I assume you're kind of standing on the floor next to the desk or table here, and Indigo's kind of still crouched on top of it, having just come through the window.
I'll step down.
Okay. You're now in the room. Trebbiano, the other three kind of look at you and go, "What's the plan? What do we do?"
I
Go in?
I poke my head in through the window. Guys, do we all come in after you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. I poke my head out. Okay, you guys go in. I'll go last.
Okay.
Tell Maurice.
I will keep an eye out.
There's some kind of dog. Tell Maurice. There's some kind of dog. Sniffer.
Apparently there's some kind of dog, so be aware of that as you go in.
So Constance and Hugo both slide in, and as Maurice comes up, he looks at you and he says, usually I watch the door.
Okay.
You want me to go in, or you want me to stay?
You can stay here. I will go in. What happens if you see something?
I yell, "We're made!" and I run, and I try to cause a ruckus, in case try to delay.
Yes.
Unless you want me to do something else. You got a different thing?
No, that sounds really, really good. Let us do that.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I limb my way through the window.
Excellent. Roll me an agility test.
Oh, dear Christ. 8.
8. Okay, so Trebbiano comes through, and now 5 of you are in this space. Now, does one of you have a light? Or is we're still all in total darkness?
I still have the lantern. I will light the lantern.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll start to light it because we're now in with the person with the crossbow who could handle the dog. Sniffer.
Okay, so you can see that you're in a small office. You can see. Let's clear a little bit more of that. Okay. So you can see there's a door on the opposite wall. And there's a smaller door here on the side. Oh, is my opacity off? Okay, anyway. Don't worry about the name. Irrelevant. Sure it is. You can see as the 5 of you are standing there. So there's a large table that's like basically being used as a desk that's pushed up against the window to get some light. You can see there is a candle and candlestick laying on the ground. You realize, Yeffi, that's what you knocked off earlier. There's some papers and whatnot. There's a single chair and those couple of doors that I mentioned. And then as the 5 of you are standing around trying to figure out what to do, you then hear from the direction of the door a low growl. What do you do?
The door that's directly across from the window?
Correct.
Gonna try
All I
the
have is
smaller
fish.
door. The smaller door, like a closet.
Fish works.
What about the smaller door? Was there a question?
Like a closet.
Are you opening
closet?
it to find out?
Yes, Paul. Yeffi
Okay.
shall open the door boldly. With
Okay.
no
You
resistance.
you open that smaller
What's
door
the
and you
shadow?
see a narrow passageway going in either direction from that door.
This is a fun closet. Maybe this part's just for shoes.
It's a servant's entrance. Or a secret passage. We should get in it so this dog doesn't find us.
Okay. I'm gonna go into the
Okay, let's
secret
do that.
tunnel.
Okay. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's just a narrow hall. It's not secret
We
is
think
is
it's a
over to.
Passageway,
Okay,
Paul. We
great,
think
great,
it's a
that's
secret
fine.
passage.
Okay.
I grab the candle before I leave.
Excellent. You have the
Smart.
candle, so you can see down the end of this hall. There is another door in that direction. In the other direction, you can see. So straight ahead of you, you can see a narrow hall that then ends in another small door, and to your left, you can see narrow hall that then ends with a bunch of clutter. You can see there's some boxes, stuff looks like has just sort of been heaped back there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the clutter. I'm gonna crawl right in. I'm gonna steal all their staplers and pencils and sharpeners and notebooks.
Excellent. You start picking through the clutter. Roll me an intelligence test.
Oh my god. 4. I'm rolling it like it's hot tonight.
You
guys.
really, in fact, and it seems like there's a couple pieces of like there's like a 3-legged chair. There's a lot of broken quills. You find some ink pots that are clearly just full of solid ink that they've just been like dried out. It's clearly not even good supplies. It's just junk.
Man, their office supply desk like sucks. Who's our office manager? Get on that. What's happening? This is terrible.
I'll go to that other door.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll press my ear up against it and see if I can hear
Excellent.
anything on the other side.
Excellent. I will roll that for you. You do not hear anything.
Great. I'll open it.
Okay. You can see that in that door opens up into a much larger office.
Oh, jeez.
There is a large window with a heavy curtain drawn across it, directly opposite you. There we go. That's what I want. You can see the walls are wood paneled. You can see that there's a large desk with more papers and an ink pot and quills. You can see that there is some artwork on some of the walls. You can see a picture of the city of Bogenhafen on the wall just to your left as you come through that door.
Have a bunch of red string all over it, like a conspiracy theorist.
No, it's like a nice rendering of the city.
Shame.
You can see there's a couple sitting chairs, kind of opposite the desk. Clearly, one could take a meeting here with some folks. Am I missing something? There is another door there. That's what I thought. Okay, try not to reveal too much, but there's another door just there, leading further into the complex. It's very nice though. Like the chairs are big and plush, leather bound. There's the desk is like a big roll top deal.
Cool. Let's search that.
The artwork on the wall looks very nice. And obviously,
I'm
with
gonna
this, even though the curtain is drawn, so you didn't, when you were approaching, coming up the alley, you didn't notice that there is in fact a big picture window here. But just perhaps the curtain is fully drawn, closed across it, so it wasn't apparent as you walked past.
Yeah, Yeffi is gonna talk to Hugo about getting the paintings down. And like, how much do you think these paintings are gonna go for? This is probably gonna get stuff. Right?
Yeah, probably worth money.
Okay, yeah, let's get these paintings.
Hugo goes and lifts the painting off the wall and brings it down gets his knife out, getting ready to cut it free of the frame. As he brings it down and leans over to cut it out, Constance actually is looking at the wall and goes, oh, "Bingo!" And you can see there's clearly a safe in the wall there behind the picture.
Holy fuck, we have a safe. We have a safe!
Bingo indeed.
Bingo indeed, Constance. So, do any of you know how to open a safe? I don't.
I can give it a shot, and then if it doesn't work, we can just bust it open.
Oh, can we take it out of the wall?
It looks pretty big and
Why don't you
probably
try
heavy.
first? Yeah, it's a good plan. Let us have you do it first.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, why don't
you
I
got
just
this,
try?
Yeffi.
Let's do this. Let's try it. All right.
You don't have a thievery proficiency, do you?
Or is it?
Or like,
No, not yet. Not yet. I just have sleight of hand. I just sleight of hand and contortionist and sneak attack, as you've seen people.
But I'll take your sleight of hand bonus.
oh shit!
I think it's generally for stuff like this.
Nice.
I rolled a 19, which means you get a +1 for the sleight of hand and a +1 for my agility, so that's a 21.
Yeah. Yeffi carefully feels over the safe, presses her ear against it, listens to the tumblers, places her tools into the lock, starts jimmying around. There's a tense moment, and you hear clunk, 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 and then the lock thunks open.
Get the heck out of town!
Give it to mommy. What is it? she presses it open.
Indigo definitely nearly shouts in joy. Is just like,
I put my hand over Indigo's mouth. He's going to do that.
Excellent. Okay, you open up the safe. Here's what's inside. You find.
Did you say vipers? Shut up! He's gonna do it!
You find two boxes like so. Stout though, that looks like they have their own little locks. As you lift them out, you can hear the jangle of coin within. So two of those, kind of maybe about 9-inch square and about 3-inch deep. Again, have their own locks on them as well, but as you pull them out, you can hear the shifting, and they feel very heavy. You also find... you also find a loose piece of paper. Actually, it was under one of them. As you lift out the second box, a loose piece of paper kind of flutters to the ground.
I grab it.
And
I can read. I grab it.
Excellent.
I have the handouts area open.
Excellent. I will drop it there, but it's also up on screen for you to take a peek at.
Well, fine.
Because it's easy enough to see on screen. Would you care? Can you read it from there? I will.
An hour after sunset at my house, all members of the inner council will attend Johannes Tugin. Shoot. I know Tugin is the name, but that doesn't look like Tugin. Oh, T-E-U. Tugin, because Germany. Right. And
You
then
got it.
a big old devil man.
Yeah, like who has their watermarks on their stationery?
I'm impressed.
Indigo, you recognize that emblem that looks very much like what you were seeing drawn on the ground of the room that you were in.
I saw that. I saw that symbol in the room with the demon. The demon.
A connection. Okay. That is very exciting.
Uh-huh.
What else was? So there were the boxes of clangety clangs. There was the paper. Is that it?
Yep, that's it. That's all that's in the safe.
All right. Anything else in the desk?
You haven't looked at the desk yet. Sorry, I'm just copying the.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, so that's in your folder now. It's called Handout 2 Dropped Note. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I see it.
Great. Let us return to the desk. Who's looking over the desk?
Trebbiano?
I can also.
Yeah,
I read.
okay,
Yeah, let's do
great.
that.
Okay. So it's got several drawers, as well as as I said, is a roll top. What would you like to try to open?
The roll top. Roll top.
When you roll open the roll top, that actually opens right up. You can see within stacks of papers, a stoppered ink pot, several quills kind of neatly lined up next to it.
Any phrases that catch my eye?
Actually, most of the paper is blank.
Oh, okay. Okay. I look in other compartments like drawers and stuff.
Excellent. You move to one of the side drawers to try and pull open the drawer. The drawer is locked.
Ah, fudge. Hey, magic fingers. I'm gonna try to open these drawers. Wait, what is his name? Wait, hold on. Was it Hugo who was like, hey, Hugo, do you have anything on you that can open pick this lock?
Yeah, sure. I could try.
The guys. The boys.
Constance is standing by the door you haven't been through and has her crossbow out.
Correct.
Good.
He actually tries the drawer and he's unable to do it. I'm sorry. It's a very fine, it's a very small, fine lock.
I understand.
Constance kind of wanders over a little bit and says, "There's definitely something out there. Something's moving around out there.
Like a person or like a dog?
Maybe a dog.
Shit.
Just keep it down. Keep it down so it doesn't start barking."
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is it the top drawer or the bottom drawer?
So there are
Are there
two
two
side drawers, basically. So there's a big roll top, which you've already opened. There's a side drawer on the left and the right. Which one, Trebbiano, did you ask him to look at? Because they are, in fact, both locked. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. The one on the side, you said? They're both on the side.
Yeah, they're both on the
There's
side.
the
There's
one
one on the left and one on the right.
Yeah, probably the one on the right.
Okay.
I was asking him to, because that's the one closest to that's the one closest to Constance, right?
Yes, that's true. Yep.
Yeah,
that's
the one probably that I was doing.
Does
You want me to give it a shot?
Yeffi want to try?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why not?
I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'm always very discreet.
I know, but up a day notch today.
I rolled an 18, so I rolled a 20.
Oh god, so good.
Yeffi's on fire tonight. On fire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge confidence booster as soon as Bruno leaves.
That's the first part of this evening.
Just absolutely shrekking it. All right, go for it.
So you pull open the drawer. As it slides out, you pull it maybe halfway open. You can see within there are some stacks of paper, definitely with writing on them.
There's more,
What do you do?
there's more of this paper. It's got lots of. Do you want me to just take the roll?
Yeah, just as long as it is not blank, let us take it all.
Okay, so you reach in, you pull out the paper, and you can see that underneath the stack of pages, there's some kind of heavy, like bronze disc of metal laying on down in
take
there.
That.
Okay, you pull it up and you realize it's got a chain on it, like it's like a big medallion, and you find that it's got that same emblem on it that you saw at the bottom of that note that you were just reading.
Yeah, I just put that in my bag and don't even look
it
at it.
It looks just like that, which is a sort of a pentacle with a bestial face in the center with big curling horns.
Yeah.
It's a big bronze
I'm sure nothing could go wrong if I put it in my bag and to carry it outside. Yep.
Excellent. You've got that. The pages, as you leaf through them, you realize it appears to be inventories, and it's a list, and each page sort of starts with like warehouse number 1, and then it lists all the stuff that might be in there. So you see things like trade items like cheap wine, timber, textiles, that sort of stuff.
Hoo-hoo.
Seems to be lists the contents of about 7 warehouses that are numbered 1 through 7.
Yeah. Just take that too. Just take it. Just take it all.
Oh, hey, you might take it. Okay, I'll take it. Sure. That guy's gonna be like, how am I gonna do my inventory now? I don't know. We're gonna do all over again. 6 months of my project lost. How are we gonna meet our KPIs?
Inconvenience.
That's the conversation he's gonna have.
We'll not know what to do. We should probably leave though. Oh, here's a better idea. Open the other one.
Oh.
You want me to open the other one? Okay. Okay, but Hugo's like better at this than I am. I'm not kidding. I rolled another 19.
Get the hell out!
Yeah, Hugo's better at this than I am.
Oh, I'm sure. I could never. Hugo's so much better than me.
For me like a pickle jar.
Yeffi, under your administrations, the lock easily snaps open. You pull open the drawer about halfway, so the drawer on your right is still about halfway open. You pull open the left one, and you hear a heavy sound of something roll, vroom, vroom, thump, and you can see in the drawer there is a dusty-looking brown bottle and a couple of crystal glasses.
Ooh, snatch those up.
Cristal. It's booze. Booze.
Yeah.
I hope it's not
snatch that.
poison.
Yeah, really.
Snatch the bottle. Okay. Do we bother to look at the rest of this office? Or is this a clean
I
job,
don't think
guys?
so. We got a lot of we should leave. Get all of the shiny things that you see on the way out for our payment for our friends.
Yeah, how did the other 2 guys with us feel? Are we good to go?
Feel.
Yeah, they seem. I mean, you've opened a safe and you've removed 2 boxes that clearly sound like they've got cash in them. They're like, yeah, we're good.
Okay, let's go.
I'm a little curious about what the dog is. Does it have horns?
It's a dumber.
I'm a little.
Actually, I'm curious too. Fuck.
No, it's a dog. You've seen badges.
No.
I'll show you badges later.
No, she's right. I mean, what if it is a creature that could enlighten us about the nature of humanity? We don't know.
Could be. No, we should take the big boxes and this piece of paper and put it outside the window with Maurice, so that it's all safe and good. Just what the dog is.
What if it is a demon? We need to kill it.
What?
But it could just be a cute dog.
Dog.
What do we do?
I don't care what is a good dog. What is if it's a demon?
It's a poodle.
All right, so
If it's just a
I'm going to
poodle, I
say
am
you've
Indigo.
skulked. You've skulked back. You skulked down the passageway. You've passed things through the window, out to Maurice. You're now in that smaller office with Constance and Hugo. So the five of you standing around at this point now having that discussion.
Great.
At this point, you now hear a scraping sound at the door opposite, and then followed by.
I get, yeah.
What is a stupid
Oh,
dog?
they
I
all
run
go.
for the window.
You all go quickly tumbling out of the window, and Maurice is there, and he's helping everybody out of the window. The dog continues to bark and really loudly, and you can hear it scraping and scrabbling at the door back behind you. You'll tumble out into the alleyway, and from there, what do?
Book it.
Look it up. Book it.
You guys
Back to the
said book it at the
cross-
same
Book
time.
it. Book it to where?
We're gonna
To the pike.
To pike, yeah, in a distracting manner.
Okay.
Loops and circles. Distract
Okay.
them. Serpentine motion, Paul. Serpentine.
Okay.
Confuses. Sorry.
All right, it's you get out of there before anyone else is in the area to respond to the barking dog. But you realize now you've left the space. You took the painting. You've opened all the drawers. You've left the safe wide open. So there's definitely
Yeah, there was never going to be,
Yeah, just to be clear, dogs
Cleaning up
barking.
was never
but
part of
you
the
guys,
plan.
you guys rush out of there back to the cross pikes. Wow. Panting, excited, just as dawn is starting to creep up, you reach the crossed pike. You come rushing into the front door. You're greeted there by Franz, who he sees kind of the state you're in. And he goes, "This looks like for the basement. Let's go downstairs." And he leads all of you back through the back passageway down into the basement, where the six of you plus Franz plus the three guys who've been down in the basement this whole time are now fairly crowded in the basement, and you realize that it kind of stinks down here. Doesn't smell great, but he sets out a couple lanterns on the table, and he looks at you. He says, "Whoa, what'd you get?"
We
got
show
two
him.
big boxes. We got an expensive painting, which obviously can't be sold here. And these two boxes that we have is still open, but we're pretty sure has some good stuff in it. And we also have their pieces of paper that I've been told has all the warehouse information, which, is probably valuable to someone somewhere, like a competitor.
That's...
Yeah.
He looks. We could definitely get some money for that painting. That looks nice. Cash is always good. Inventories of warehouses. I'd be willing to take that as part of my cut.
Yeah, that's stuff, right?
Yeah. That's useful.
Let's pop these
Nice
boxes.
work. Yeah, let's get these boxes open. Okay. So, each of the boxes is itself locked, and as the boxes are handed around from Yeffi to Hugo to Franz himself to various of you, as each of you attempts to get the box open, each of you finds yourself completely unable. I'm not even going to ask for a roll, because you find that there's something unusual about the boxes themselves, that as you try to work the lock, it's like the lock is shifting and changing as you're working on it. There's something unnatural about it. You spend a good hour there trying to get the boxes open, and finally Francis sits back and he goes, "Well, this is confounding. I I almost don't want to. I mean, that in and of itself seems like a useful thing, but there's clearly some kind of magic's going on here or something. I think we might just have to smash them.
Yeah, just rip them
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
All right.
Get a crowbar.
All right. Get the tools. So one of the guys goes and comes back with a hammer and a chisel, and just starts beating the shit out of the boxes. Yeah, and
love these guys
that
so
does
much,
work.
dude.
That does work, and you find that each of the boxes has 500 gold crowns in it.
Oh my god, we're made.
500.
That's it. 500? God, this was so much more
500 gold
efficient
crowns.
than the rest of our freaking campaign. This was the best day ever. Okay, Yeffi, you do the talking. Good lord.
Well, thank goodness it wasn't anything
I'm gonna-
delicate. That's all I have to say there. So the cut was 50-50, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. I value that painting at around, I don't know, maybe another 50 carls itself. And how much would I pay for these nice stacks of inventories? Let's say another 200 carls for the inventories, shall we?
Edie says,
Does that sound
and
fair
they
to
all
you?
lived happily ever after.
That sounds about fair.
Sounds fair to me.
That
I mean,
that
this
that, that
ongoing
gives us
business
the
you here in Bogenhafen. Sorry, go ahead.
that
Go
gives
ahead
us a
and-
share of 625 carls each. Sound good to you?
Sounds good. I have to say that we did find some kind of medallion, and we're going to keep that as evidence about these guys and their weird uba-ju that they're doing.
Is it valuable? Is it gold? It's got jewels? Let me see it.
I don't think it's something you could
real
fence,
creepy.
man. Yeah.
Well, I'd like
Show
to
'em,
see
Trib.
it as a mark of good faith. I'd like to see it. Yeah, you show it to him? Yeah. Okay. It's like, oh, is that?
Yeah.
Is that bronze? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's worthless. All right.
Yeah.
625 is your share. I assume you want me to take the painting and the inventories, which I'm happy to
Might
do.
be easy to do them. Excellent.
I
We'll
can
take
take it.
the coin.
Right. Counts
Wait,
out.
what?
And as we're doing this, Indigo will pour some of that very fine alcohol we got from it into some glasses, I think, for a toast.
Ah, excellent. To a job well done. It's a pleasure doing business with
Right.
you guys.
Sorry,
You
did
all-
Yeffi have that, or...?
No, I don't trust that wine.
It's probably fine, says Indigo.
It's probably fine. I trust it. Something that just occurred, because William Hellman says, you steal 1,000 gold crowns, they will find you, unless they think you're already dead. Yeah, so we probably just made the worst and most powerful enemies we possibly could have. Is something that I was so high off of the idea of having a plan and succeeding at it brilliantly that it has not hit me until this exact moment how bad of an idea that was.
Oh, come on. It was
I
fun.
mean, I'm really glad we're out of there and that we succeeded and that we are going to be fine. But also, this is really
They already wanted
bad.
to kill us, right?
No. You're totally right. I feel like we just. I've expressed
Now they
my
just want to
sentiment.
kill
We
us a
can
little
continue.
bit more.
what you're trying to say is that you miss Bruno. Because
No,
his
what I'm
plans
trying to
always-
say is exactly what Ash just said, which is, yeah, it's not like dogs can track your scent or anything. Yeah, so we didn't kill that dog, which we were never going to kill that dog, let's face it. But that dog now knows what all of us smell like, which is really not good.
Excellent. Well, this sounds like a wonderful conundrum for you guys to stew on for the next week. So we'll leave ourselves there in the basement of the Crossed Pikes as our party, flush with their success, raises a glass of very expensive and tasty liquor, as it turns out to be. And with your newfound friends, toasts your success and counts out the money. Make sure one of you at least has written down 625 gold crowns.
I got it.
Excellent. And that's where we will leave you all for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed our further misadventures. Hopefully Bruno will be with us next week, who has once again missed the episode where the party made money. That's like the second major haul the party has gotten while Bruno has been absent. So Bruno remains penniless. Sorry, Max. And I hope you all enjoyed it. And stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everyone.
Thanks for watching.